back to 352 Sports Talk. My name is Eddy. I'm alone. Everybody wants to be a bitch. So it's just me in Orlando. I'm just kidding. Greg's doing his thing. Jamari working his ass off. But we're here on Labor Day, breaking down some football games over the weekend. Some good ones, some horrible ones, and some of them that make me happy as hell. So on Thursday we had a bunch of games, and I know the main one on Thursday was the BYU and Utah game. BYU's ass. I watched the whole game. It was like 1:30 in the morning. It was still going on, and I had to quit. It was boring. I mean, Utah just looks like they're just better. They have a better quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and of course they're all from Florida. But yeah, man, that wasn't really good. On Thursday, other games that were important. Cincinnati beat UCLA. The only reason that's important is because UCLA has Chip Kelly, and we lucked out with not having Chip Kelly. So thank God we have Dan Mullen. UCF looked very dominant versus FAMU. I mean, it is FAMU, but it was 62-0 overall. The final, it was 48-0 in the first half. So the quarterback that transferred from Notre Dame, he definitely looked the part. He looked like he was ready. His name is Winbush, so that's good. Clemson dominated Georgia Tech. However, Georgia Tech did look decent at times on defense, although they allowed 52 points. But then again, I mean, it's Clemson. They caused Trevor Lawrence to have 2 picks in the first half alone. He had 150 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown. So Clemson looked dominant. They're going to keep going. Texas A&M rolled over Texas State 41-7. And then that was it for Thursday. I mean, it was an okay slate of games. We're going to move on to Friday. Yeah, you remember when we told you that Wisconsin, all they eat is beer and cheese? That's exactly what they eat. I mean, they 49-0 versus USF. Granted, it's USF, but everybody's like, oh, USF's coming back because Charlie Strong, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me just tell you that Taylor had 16 carries, 135 yards, 2 touchdowns. He probably played like 1 half. It was a horrible game to watch. Blake Barnett apparently found his home with USF. Trash. He's gone to 5 different schools for a reason. He's just not a good quarterback. But maybe USF can turn it around after this. Wisconsin just looks like a top 25 team. Purdue, I picked Purdue. I remember I picked Purdue to win over Nevada. They lost in the last 3 seconds on a kick. They look good. They just need to feed more and more. That's it. Colorado State, Colorado. There was a lot of rival games in the first week, which I like a lot because last week it was Miami and Florida. We had Colorado State, Utah, BYU. There was a lot of rivalries, and it was good. But Colorado dominated again. I mean, they dominate the whole series. They won 52-31. It just looks like Colorado might be another year where they're top 25 again and compete for the Pac-12. And then Saturday is when the good games started. So we're gonna leave the good ones for last. And Orlando knows exactly what they're talking about. It got cloudy as hell. Yeah, so we're about to get hit by a Category 5 storm in like 2 days. So we might die. You might not see this video. We don't know. I'm just kidding. We'll be fine. Prayers for the Bahamas, man. It is very unfortunate what's going on over there. Very sad. I mean, houses destroyed and all that. So prayers to them. But going back to football, Ohio State versus FAU. Ohio State looked okay. They had what's his name? Justin Fields. He looked very good. I think he has 5 touchdowns. The first time that he has 5 touchdowns, or any quarterback has 5 touchdowns in Ohio State history, which is very surprising to me since they are a rich tradition in football. But so yeah, they won 45-21. Nothing big. Iowa State went to triple overtime versus Northern Iowa for no reason. They won 29-26. Nebraska, okay, I told you guys, I don't understand why Nebraska is a top 25 team. They shouldn't have been a top 25 team. They won 5-7 last year. They had an okay offseason, and it was just because they have Adrian Martinez and they have Scott Frost. They struggled with South Alabama. It was 7-0 in the first half, all South Alabama. Heading into the second quarter was 7-7, and they won. I mean, they only won 35-27, 21. So, I mean, their defense wasn't that good either. But now heading into the good games. Florida State. Man, it's raining. All right, so Florida State and Boise State. We all told you the potato boys were going to come and eat potatoes. So Florida State started off hot. I mean, they were on fire. Everything that they threw was a touchdown, broken tackles, defense was flying around, everything was fine. What's his name? James Blackman had 327 yards, 3 touchdowns, 23 completions out of 33 passes. All that was in the first half. They only had like 50 yards in the second half. Trash. They didn't score anything. They got beat by a true freshman that graduated 2 months ago. Just think about that. Let's just pause for a second, listen to the win if you can, and listen to that. They lost to a freshman who graduated 2 months ago. He threw for 407 yards. They ran for over 230 yards. They had over 600 yards on offense. And Seabass has the audacity to say that they don't have a Swiss cheese defense. Seabass, wake up, bro. So they lost to Boise State. So the one win that Florida State should have had, they don't. So it's looking like this is gonna have like another 5-7 or 6-6 season. I mean, they're not gonna beat Florida. They're not gonna beat Clemson. They're not gonna beat Miami. They're not gonna beat. They might not even beat North Carolina this year. To be completely honest with you guys. So that was very unfortunate. Sorry for you Florida State fans. You guys are cheeks. That's it. Sorry about it. Not really. Penn State looked very dominant. They won 79-7 over some trash team. But if you score almost 100 points on anybody, I'm gonna give you props. Maryland scored 79 points versus, I don't know, another trash team, but it was 79-0. Bro, if somebody puts 79 on me, the whole team the next week, just turn in your pads, bro. Turn in your pads, bro. We're done for the rest of the season. So South Carolina, Muschamp, struggles again. One of the teams that they predicted they were gonna win was North Carolina. Their schedule is horribly set up for them. They lost to North Carolina in the fourth quarter. Like, they were up 23 to, let me see what the score was. They were up 20-7. They lost 24-20. Muschamp, he's on the hot seat automatically. I think he might get fired in mid-season, to be completely honest with you. Georgia State, what the hell is that? Georgia State and Tennessee. Georgia State at Tennessee to make it even better. 38-30. Georgia State completely dominated Tennessee on both sides of the line. Defense, so we're dominating. Offensive line, they blocked everything. And all you stupid ass Tennessee fans were talking, oh, we have 3 5-stars in our offense. We're gonna be good this year. Shut the hell up. You boys are cheeks. You're not gonna get the power T back. This is not 1998. This is 2019. And I'm sorry that you're a Tennessee fan. I actually saw a tweet of somebody decommitting or going to the transfer portal and like a fan going into the transfer portal and putting his top 10 teams out there. And I have much respect for that because I cannot be a fan for Tennessee. I don't know how people do it. All these stupid teams that you know every single year you're going to lose to Florida, you're going to lose to Georgia, like Kentucky. Like, you lose 38 years in a row. Awful. Cheeks. So yeah, they lost. They got dominated. Pruitt is already on the hot seat, second year in the program. He might get fired at the end of the season if they don't win 6 games, to be completely honest. We also had Missouri lost to Wyoming. So all the lies that Missouri fans were telling, I'm sorry. It's rain gonna pipe us up. It's gonna pipe us up real good. Shit. So we had to relocate. Unfortunately, it started raining. Looks like the hurricane stuff is starting to happen. We've been waiting for this for like 7 days, so we're kind of just done with it. Just come destroy everything. Let's go. But honestly, we're gonna move on. So replace. So we were talking about Missouri. Missouri fans were all like, "Oh, we're gonna go 8-0 heading into the Georgia game." Blah blah blah. Y'all lost the first game, trash, to Wyoming, another potato picking state. Like, really, Wyoming, bro. Embarrassment to the SEC. LSU, Georgia beat Vandy. Georgia looked they looked okay. I mean, Vandy does play everybody tough. They won 30-6, but they looked okay. The wide receivers. We're gonna move on. LSU completely dominated Georgia Southern, 55-3. It was a great outing for LSU. Honestly, their offense looked really good. Again, it's Georgia Southern, but they look pretty good. They look like they can pass. I think what's his name? Joe Burrow had 278 yards, 5 touchdowns. So he looked really good. He completely dominated. I mean, Georgia Southern's quarterback only had 24 yards. So their defense was good too. Michigan 40-21. They struggled the whole game. Bunch of lies by Michigan fans again. And I'm trying to see other games that were pretty good. I think that was it. Other than on Saturday, Oregon and Auburn. This was another classic. This was just like the championship. Oregon was up ahead. Auburn rallied back and won. I mean, it was a great game, and I'll go into detail with this one. We're out here in a while, bro. So Bo Nix, he's a true freshman that graduated literally 2 months ago. Had 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. One of the touchdowns was the last 5 seconds. He threw it, a great route, beat the cornerback. It was great. Early in the game, Oregon was dominating both sides of the field. Both sides. The offensive line was completely dominating their Auburn's D line, and they were up big. They were up 14-3. That's pretty sizable, score right there. Herbert went 28 for 37, 242 yards, 1 touchdown. And after that, so after the halftime, they kind of slowed down. I don't know why. I was going for Oregon. That's who I picked. Although I like that Auburn one, because once they come here, we beat that ass. We're gonna look good. But after the second half, I mean, after the first half, they kind of got complacent with it. They weren't calling the same plays as much. And Auburn started to rile up. Their D-line started dominating. Dudes that's like 6'6", 340 pounds, running right next to a running back, like literally step by step. It was crazy. Their D-line turned it up. And then offense in Auburn in the fourth quarter scored 14 points. And I think it was in the last 5 minutes. And they won that 27-21, a classic game. This hurts big time to the Pac-12, because they only have like 2 teams that are okay, which is Washington, Oregon, and you can put Utah up there, but I don't think Utah compares to either of them. So Oregon took a hit, man. I don't know if they can come back. They could probably, lose this game, win the rest of the season, and make it to the playoffs. But however, it makes it very difficult if you go from Oregon that only plays one good team the rest of the season, and then you have like a SEC team or a Big Ten team or anything like that and wins. So we'll see how that plan pans out. It was a great game though. If you didn't watch it, you definitely need to watch the highlights or anything like that. So yesterday was Sunday, and the only game was Oklahoma and Houston. Oklahoma dominated the whole time. The defense looked pretty good, but then again, it's Houston. But their D coordinator is new. It looks like they ramped it up on defense, which is good, because Oklahoma always has an elite offense. If you give them a good defense, it's over with. I mean, they're in the playoffs guaranteed, because their offense is that elite. So you have a decent Oklahoma defense, that's scary. But anyways, it was okay in the first half. They dominated, and then in the second half, they kind of let Houston get back in it. They won 49-31 versus Houston. Hurts though looked like he's gonna win another Heisman Trophy for Oklahoma. It might be 3 years in a row, to be completely honest. He went 20 of 23, 332 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 16 carries, 176 yards with 3 touchdowns. Let me say that again. 332 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. 176 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. This man had 6 touchdowns and over 500, and basically 500 yards by himself. I think he's the Heisman winner right now. It's crazy. This dude balled the hell out for no reason, and there's a lot of people saying stupid ass Skip Bayless. You can tag him on the stupid ass Twitter thing too, because he's pissing me off. Talking about this Nick Saban regret letting him go. Like Tua Tagovailoa is not better. Stop it, Skip. Stop it. And then today we have one game, so we can make this short. And it's Notre Dame versus Louisville. I expect Notre Dame to do. Louisville's trash, bro. I'm sorry to all the Louisville fans out there. But Louisville's not what they were 2 years ago when they had Lamar Jackson. I expect Notre Dame to win big. I think like 44-10 should be the score. I just don't know enough about Louisville's offense, and I definitely don't know about their defense. The defense is iffy after their coach left like 3 years ago. So I'm not sure how they're gonna do. But other than that, man, thanks for tuning in. This week we're gonna be putting a lot of we're gonna be putting a big injury. Sorry. We're gonna put a lot of content out. Like this one should be coming out soon, and then we're gonna put like the predictions for the next games as well. So definitely follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, like, subscribe, share it around to your grandma, the pigeon, just your whole family. Just spread it around, man. Our last one that we did for this, the recap, we got over 103 views in over a week, which is really good. We had like 60 views in 4 or 5 hours. It was crazy. People were really tuning in. They liked it a lot that we did this, so we're gonna continue doing this every Sunday, just breaking down the big games. And this following weekend, we have a huge game. We have LSU versus Texas. Texas A&M will rank Clemson, so 2 big games. Basically top 10 teams, because I think Texas A&M is going to move up to the top 10, and some teams in the top 10 might go down after the first week. So it might be 2 big showdowns in the top 10. So definitely going to be breaking those down. We're definitely going to talk about it. And then me, Orlando, Jamari, Omar, Obed, Mark, everybody that you've seen in the damn podcast, my imaginary friends, they're all going to be at the game. We're all going to the Florida game. We're playing some stupid team, UT Martin. If we lose to them, I might kill myself. But we're not. We're going to probably score 80 on them. But we're all going to be at the game. We're going to be, shooting live videos of drunk people recording the game. So definitely pay attention to what we're putting out. My name is Eddy. We'll see you next week.